Now, GS News checks in the Upper East region shows an increase in security presence on the main highways in the region. Our correspondent Nash, who has been traversing the northern, northeast and Upper East regions, reports that a joint team of police, military as well as immigration have now been stationed at various vantage points checking on persons who enter the region. Now, earlier this week, an internal memo of the Ghana Police Service directed regional commanders in the Upper East and West, Northern and Northeast and Savannah to be on the alert as intelligence revealed that some bandits from Burkina Faso had entered the country to cause trouble in the aforementioned regions. Let's now speak to our correspondent Nash for more on this particular development. So Noah, what is the state of security in especially the Upper East region where you currently are?
The situation is very interesting because before the police IGP would come up with a statement, apparently they've already briefed up the security personnel on the various highways to actually, especially there has been a very strong mandate that has been given to the immigration service to actually check every vehicle, including the OA buses and all the buses that are coming from Paga to Sandema, to Churuga, all this enclave where they all converge within the bodyguard stretch of the road. There is a presence of the military and the police within those sections. The military are not visible. You will not see the military visibility that openly, like the way you will see the police presence, the immigration and the customs. Now, the customs has also been given a specific instruction based on the movement of the trucks that comes with load from Burkina Faso and any other enclave. One of the requirements is that if a truck has more than the required number of people who should be in it, there is that high suspicion that the customs officials will alert the immigration officials, the police, to actually question the driver thoroughly. Because there have been drivers who work with about 2 or 3 mates, so that is allowed. But when the number increases beyond that, there's a high level of suspicion. Now, public transport that comes in from Paga, Chichiriga, Sandema, and other enclaves, they all have to stop at an immigration point where immigration officers will have to check the various ID cards of those passengers before allowing people to, the VAS is allowed to move. So the security situation for the last 1 month, before the IGP issued the instruction, there has been a detailed instruction that has been given to the police personnel to actually monitor a very strong network of movement of people that is coming from Burkina Faso. If you go and also check what they are supposed to also do, one of the key things which has been a major problem for some of them is the fact that most residents feel that the neighboring homes within the Burkina Faso enclave that shares border with Ghana, they virtually speak the same language. So walk in and walk out is very common and very strong. As I speak to you now, we have dotted immigration officers who tries to monitor at night which vehicle is coming into the country. You know, at this time of the year, this is when we do what we call fertilizer smuggling, fuel smuggling excessively. So that has also culminated the checks that the security services are doing. For now, I can tell you for a fact that the police are doing a yeoman's job, especially the immigration. They are doing a yeoman's job. People feel they are harassing them because when you don't hold an ID card, they detain you for a very long time before a convincing phone call. Like, let's say, for instance, they call a relative that they know, and then the relative says, okay, fine, he's my relative, just that he's not carrying an ID card. He's not fluent with his language, because, you know, it's not everybody from the north who can speak fluent English or fluent Akan or fluent. But if you speak in Kasana, or if you speak in any of their languages, they will probably know. So if you look at what the police and the immigration are tasked to do, they have natives who have been posted back into the region to assist them to have a conversation with passengers who sit in those public transports.
And you talked about how some residents feel that they are being harassed. I want to know, beyond that, what has been their general reaction to this beef up in security in their region?
The harassment is more of like, imagine a whole bus of OA VIP is stopped, and all the passengers, occupants on that vehicle is asked to get down. It's more of like an inconvenience. You know, this journey is almost like 14 hours to this part of our region. So therefore, people are in a hurry to say, oh look, you have to allow us to go. Now, there has been one good thing that the police service is doing, which I must commend them for. And I want them to intensify that job. That is, they have started engaging landlords and landladies in that respect, for them to actually, because there has been residential complaints. A lot of the residents in Bonga and other parts have complained that when they want accommodation, they don't get it. But when a foreigner walks in, because they have safer, they are able to get accommodation on a suite level. Therefore, what the police service is trying to do is to engage landlords and landladies to actually let them understand that if in as much as you want to give accommodation to anybody who is a foreigner or anything, still question their identity. Get an ID card to peruse before issuing out a key to the person. So that has been on the high agenda. There has been some engagement with hotels as well. That has not gone deeper. But as it may, the police are doing their things gradually. They do not want to bring a lot of tension in the environment. So they are doing it gradually. And that is where I think that it's a yeoman's job they are doing as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Thank you very much. That's Noah Nash, our correspondent in the northern region, but is currently in the Upper East region. We will be speaking to the police in relation to this beef up in security. Like we did talk about earlier, there was a circular, an internal memo that made the rounds in the media about the police, serving notice about some bandits from Burkina Faso intending to cause havoc or wreak havoc in the country, and asked their personnel at the various border towns to be on high alert. Our correspondent tells us that there is visible police presence in these areas in question. But another aspect we would want to know is how the police is dealing with the issue of unapproved routes, because that has been one of the major concerns for many. As of now, our land borders still remain closed because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but continuously we get reports of people getting into the country through unapproved routes. So the question is, what exactly is the police doing about the situation of unapproved routes to ensure that these persons who the police warn us about do not make their way into the country? Let's go onto the telephone line and speak to the Upper East Regional PRO of the Police Service, ASP Ochre Fianku, on the happenings there. Thank you, sir, for your time. We're grateful that you joined us here on News Tonight. So the issue many have on their minds right now is the issue of unapproved routes. What exactly is being done about that? For the main townships and the border towns, we are told that there is visible police and military presence, as well as the immigration as well.
Thanks for your question. If I got you right, you want to find out about the separation of the Upper East Regional Police Command towards the whatever security arrangement that we have. Yeah, what it is that the Upper East Regional Police Command has rolled out a new operational strategy to combat violent crimes in the region.
Okay.
And this includes highway patrol. In fact, a robust highway patrol on the major international trunk roads that passes through Bogatanga to neighboring Togo and Burkina Faso. We also have an operation team called Operation Contest, who have been on the border close to 2 years now. Okay. With anticipation of these terrorist issues. And for that matter, we have adequate strategies to ensure our borders are well policed. We are doing this in collaboration with our sister security agencies, like the 11th Mechanized Infantry Battalion in Bazua, near Boku. We are also doing things with the immigration service and the custom and preventive exercise, that's a zero edition of the custom.
Okay.
And so, for the security services in Upper East region, we are in greater collaboration to deal with such issues.
Okay.
So there's no need for anyone living in Upper East region or find himself in the region to entertain any fears at all.
And this beef up in security you're talking about, has it gone up a notch higher after the police issued that memo warning police and their commanders in those regions, the Upper East and surrounding regions, about, some persons some bandits from Burkina Faso intending to wreak havoc in the country? Have you gone a notch higher, or you're maintaining what you had in place before?
Yes, we in the Upper East Regional Police Commanders, I'm telling you now, we understand the geographical location of the region. The fact is that we share boundaries with Togo and Burkina Faso that you are aware of. However, there are several unapproved borders at both ends of this location.
Yeah.
And we have placed adequate personnel at all these points. Okay. Recently, just about 2 weeks ago, the Upper East Regional Police Commander, in the person of DCOP Dr. Saibu Garba himself, have fought all the borders from Paga to Warianga. And in fact, he has even inspected some police stations due for opening to ensure. In fact, I must say that these police stations are sited at the border so that they will take adequate security on our borders. That complements the efforts of the Operation Conquest Phase, immigration, and the custom officers who are already there. Our intelligence personnel are also on the ground collecting intelligence. So this strategy, from time to time, every security organization revises our strategy. So from March this year, we have revised our operational strategy to include all the things that I've mentioned of, to ensure maximum security is provided for the people of Upper East region, and for that matter, the country as a whole. So there is no cause for alarm.
Okay.
Any piece of information that we take, we process that information and we design a strategy to combat that. So people of Upper East region should remain calm. It's one of the information that police take, and we act upon that. That does not mean that today, tomorrow, something of that nature is going to happen. As I speak to you now, if you have your correspondence in the Upper East region, you will see that along the length and breadth of the Upper East region, everybody is going about it or a normal.
Absolutely. ASP, thank you so much for your time.